Welcome to the day after here in Shanghai. I'm Rupert Bell, and I have to say it's the day after what was a quite spectacular Stage 3 of the Global Champions League, a thrilling competition that saw the Shanghai Swans come out on top again here in Shanghai and for the second time this year. But throughout the competition, it was gripping. You never knew who was going to come out on top. In the end, it was, as I say, the Shanghai Swans. They then came ahead of Valkenswaard United, who had a terrific second round, and New York Empire. Cannes Stars were leading at that stage, but sadly didn't quite work out, which is probably a bit harsh of me to be mentioning it because we will be talking to one of the members of that team. But Dan Strange alongside me, when we saw the Shanghai Swans, that second round with all the three double clears after the first, then all those teams that were coupled together on four faults, we never knew till the very end who was going to come out on top. It couldn't have been a better competition.
It couldn't have. It was an electrifying day, wasn't it? The first round, lots of faults sort of spread across the class, and then just the way that the teams kept being so consistent through that second round all came down to time. In the end, what was it, 5 seconds between first and second, which is quite a lot of time, but it was nerveless.
Well, and also there was, Henrik von Eckermann was throwing down the gauntlet, but you knew that after the Shanghai Swans had posted such a good time with Ben and Max, he had that, and he was still just outside the time, but you knew he was straining every sinew, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that was the thing yesterday. If you look at not just Henrik, but the way that Marcus and Gilles went for Valkenswaard, they had a huge day. They jumped 6 places in the rankings, and they did their absolute utmost. 2 high-quality riders. It just wasn't good enough to catch up.
And that actually, I mentioned the New York Empire.
We haven't.
We're going to have to.
Good weekend for them. We are.
Very good weekend for them because they also moved up the leaderboard. They were in that. There was a run of 7 clear rounds, of which Robert Murphy and Scott Brash produced that. And they've moved up to 4th in the standing. So a good weekend. So that seems appropriate. Now, I'm delighted to say, joining us in the day after, 2 people who had an instrumental impact on yesterday's proceedings. I'm Robert Murphy and Natalie Dean from Cannes Stars and obviously from New York Empire, both newbies on the Global Champions League, but both having a terrific season so far. I'll start with you, Robert, because it was actually your first show, coupled with Scott Brash. How much did you enjoy the experience yesterday and what your team did?
Yeah, it was really good. I was really excited to come and take part in my first team event, and to do it with Scott, growing up watching him and seeing what he achieved was great. And he was a great teammate and went through the courses with me, and it was just good to be alongside him.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, of course I'm nervous, yeah.
You looked, and we watched you yesterday, you looked incredibly calm. Are you one who just goes, but inside you're churning?
Yeah, a bit, yeah. I think you have to, I try and keep the nerves under control and use them to my advantage a bit to keep me sharp. I think that's the best way to deal with it.
And you've got a lovely horse as well that is sort of giving you the big stage. And the horse made it, well, between the pair of you, look very easy, that clear round.
Yeah, I've been very, very fortunate to have the opportunity to ride Canham. He's a really special horse. And I think this is just the beginning of something that could be really good. I think he's a really talented horse.
10 years of age, the horse is. You're only 24. So this could be the sort of career. Do you feel like it's a sort of the breakthrough horse for you?
It could be, we all come across that one horse in the show jumper's career that can really change things. So, you never know. It could be him.
Now, alongside you, representing Cannes Stars, I'm sorry, I was a bit harsh, wasn't I, in the introduction, but you've had a terrific start to your Global Champions League. How much have you enjoyed, Natalie, being part of it and sort of helping your team to the top, second place now in the standings?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, following last year and us winning the league last year, I think that was a fairy tale ending for the season, but we're always looking forward to the future. And the Iron Dames, I think, is second to none what they do for our team. Deborah, what she's created with now having 2 teams in the Global Champions League and what she's given for women in the sport is just amazing. And I think we're all really thankful to be part of it. And we keep looking forward. We're in second place now in the overall standings, but it's still a long season ahead. So last year we had some results that were not on the podium, but we just kept consistently ticking off podiums, and that's how we won the season last year.
Has your role slightly changed? Do you feel like whereas Robert is learning, first time, you're the go-to rider, or is that, now there's more refresher on what your role is within the team?
Yeah, for sure. Last year I was the under 25 rider, and this year I've stepped up out of the U25, and Anastasia's sort of taken the spot of the U25 rider, and she had amazing rounds yesterday, and I think the future is really bright for her. And I think this year that I'm having the pressure of being on the team more than I was last year, and I think that's a great experience for me.
What conversations now go on between you and her? What taking your mentoring role on, as it were?
Yeah, for sure. I think all of us, Jana's sort of the mother of the team, and I think she really mentors all of us. But I think our whole team is very close, and we really try to work together and come up with the best plan for each show.
And Robert, in your case, you had Dennis and Scott, and look, they're two riders who've been round the block. So, you a sponge for what they have to say? How does it work for you?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I try to be a sponge at every show I can go to. Really, I'm always studying and watching. I think it's one of the best things you can do at the shows. And yeah, I try and take it all in. I'm fortunate that we have a really strong team. All the riders I'm with, I feel are really strong. I can learn from them all. Even Mikey, I grew up with him in ponies, but what he's achieved at such a young age is something that I really look up to.
What I liked with New York Empire yesterday was when Rob had gone, and he'd gone clear in the second round, I tried to persuade Scott to come on to the interview as well, and Scott said no. I don't know whether he was joking or not, but he said no, he needs to do this. It's part of the learning curve. And you can take that either as a joke and Scott playing around, or you can actually go, it is part of the learning curve, and it's about dealing with the surroundings of the success that Rob had as he comes through, and Natalie and Anastasia as well have as they go through.
It is part of the game now. Every sports person gets interviewed as soon as they've done something.